The practice of ant agriculture commenced 66 million years ago, following the catastrophic asteroid impact that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. Greetings to everyone. Today's video will focus on the subject of ant agriculture, which originated 66 million years ago following the asteroid impact that resulted in the extinction of the dinosaurs. Researchers affiliated with the Smithsonian Institution conducted an analysis of genetic data from a variety of ant and fungi species, uncovering that ants have engaged in the cultivation of fungi long before the emergence of humanity. The study delineated 4 distinct agricultural systems across 250 species of ants, highlighting leafcutter ants as practitioners of advanced agricultural techniques. It required nearly 40 million years for ants to evolve this sophisticated form of agriculture, which began to develop approximately 27 million years ago as climatic shifts isolated fungi, thereby rendering them reliant on ants for their survival. Without further delay, let us proceed with our discussion. Agriculture has existed for millions of years, long before humans commenced the farming of crops thousands of years ago. In fact, various animal lineages have been cultivating their own food since well prior to the evolution of humans as a species. In a study released today, October 3rd, in the journal Science, researchers at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History examined genetic data from numerous species of fungi and ants to construct intricate evolutionary trees. By comparing these trees, the scientists were able to establish an evolutionary timeline for ant agriculture and identify the period when ants initially began to cultivate fungi. Ants have engaged in agriculture and fungus cultivation for a significantly longer period than the existence of humans, stated entomologist Ted Schultz, who serves as the museum's curator of ants and is the principal author of the recent paper. It is likely that we can gain valuable insights from the agricultural achievements of these ants over the course of the past 66 million years. Approximately 250 distinct ant species across the Americas and the Caribbean engage in the farming of fungi. Researchers categorize these ants into 4 agricultural systems according to their methods of cultivation. Among these, leafcutter ants exemplify the most sophisticated strategy, referred to as higher agriculture. These ants collect fragments of fresh plant material to nourish their fungi, which subsequently produce a food source known as gongylidea for the ants. This sustenance is essential for supporting intricate colonies of leafcutter ants that can consist of millions of individuals. For 35 years, Schultz has dedicated his research to examining the evolutionary connection between ants and fungi. He has undertaken over 30 expeditions to various sites in Central and South America to observe this interaction in its natural habitat, and he has cultivated colonies of leafcutter ants and other fungus farming species within the laboratory at the museum. Throughout the years, Schultz and his colleagues have gathered thousands of genetic samples from ants and fungi across the tropical regions. This collection of samples was essential to the development of the new paper. To accurately identify patterns and trace the evolution of this association over time, an extensive collection of ant samples and their respective fungal cultivars is essential, Schultz stated. The researchers sequenced genetic data for 475 distinct species of fungi, of which 288 are cultivated by ants, and for 276 different species of ants, with 208 of these cultivating fungi. This effort resulted in the largest genetic dataset pertaining to fungus farming ants ever compiled. Consequently, the team was able to construct evolutionary trees for both groups. By comparing wild fungal species with their cultivated counterparts, the researchers were able to ascertain the timeline of when ants began to utilize specific fungi. The findings indicated that ants and fungi have been interconnected for approximately 66 million years, coinciding with the period when an asteroid impacted Earth at the conclusion of the Cretaceous era. This catastrophic event inundated the atmosphere with dust and debris, obstructing sunlight and hindering photosynthesis for an extended duration. Consequently, the ensuing mass extinction eradicated nearly half of all plant species present on Earth during that epoch. Nonetheless, this disaster proved advantageous for fungi. These organisms thrived as they fed on the abundant dead plant matter scattered across the ground. While extinction events often result in significant calamities for the majority of organisms, they can conversely yield beneficial outcomes for certain species, Schultz stated. During the conclusion of the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs faced considerable challenges, whereas fungi thrived remarkably. During this era, numerous fungi that thrived likely consumed decomposing leaf litter, thereby establishing proximity to ants. These insects utilized the abundant fungi as a food source and maintained their dependence on the resilient fungi as life gradually recovered from the extinction event. The recent study also indicated that approximately another 40 million years elapsed before ants developed advanced agricultural practices. The researchers traced the origins of this sophisticated method to roughly 27 million years ago, a period marked by a rapidly cooling climate that altered global environments. In South America, arid habitats such as grasslands and woody savannas fragmented extensive regions of moist tropical forests. As ants transported fungi from these wet forests into the drier landscapes, they effectively isolated the fungi from their wild ancestral populations. Consequently, the isolated fungi became entirely dependent on ants for survival in the arid conditions, thereby establishing the foundation for the advanced agricultural systems employed by leafcutter ants today. The manner in which these fungi were domesticated by the ants mirrors the way in which humans have domesticated crops, Schultz stated. What is remarkable is that we can now determine the period during which the higher ants first began to cultivate the higher fungi. Alongside Schultz, the recent publication features contributions from multiple co-authors associated with the National Museum of Natural History, namely Jeffrey Sosa Calvo, Matthew Queskin, Michael Lloyd, Anna Jesovnik, and Scott E. Solomon. Additionally, the study encompasses authors linked to various institutions, including the University of Utah, the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, the University of California at Berkeley, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Sao Paulo State University, the Instituto de Investigaciones Científicas y Servicios de Alta Tecnología, the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, the University of Copenhagen, Emory University, McMaster University, Universidade Federal de Uberlândia, Arizona State University, the University of Hohenheim, and Louisiana State University. The study received funding from a variety of esteemed organizations, including the U.S. National Science Foundation, the Smithsonian Institution, the University of Maryland, the Louisiana State Board of Regents, Sistema Nacional de Investigación, the Cosmos Club Foundation, the Explorers Club in Washington, D.C., the Sao Paulo Research Foundation, the Brazilian Council of Research and Scientific Development, the Brazilian Federal Agency for Support and Evaluation of Graduate Education, the Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew, and the Carl Zeiss Foundation. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.